This is lesson 5.5 in elementary algebra, the sum and difference of two cubes. Now in the last lesson we did let me turn back here, just the difference of two squares. Now we're going to look at the difference of two cubes. So remember, the difference of two squares was something like 9x squared minus 25. Where you looked at this, can I take the square root of that? Yes. Can I take the square root of that? Yes. And because I can, this becomes negative and this becomes positive. Okay, so we just took the square root of both and put a plus and minus sign in there. Alright, for this lesson we're going to, instead of squares, we're going to use cubes. Now the nice thing about this is there's cool formulas. I don't expect you to memorize them, but if we have something like x cubed minus 8, this is actually x cubed minus 2 cubed. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. So if we can write that number, either one of these numbers, as a cube, and there's a minus sign, it's the difference of two cubes. So the first step I want you to do is rewrite this as this, so that you have a cube here and a cube here. You have to have a cube there and a cube there. Okay, then the nice thing about it is we ignore the cubes. We write it again as x minus 2. Okay, and that's all we're going to look at in solving this. We're not going to look at any of this anymore. We're just going to look at the x minus 2. That's what we're concerned with. Alright, so here's the formula. If we have a cubed minus b cubed, and I'm just going to write the formula from the book. We have a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. Alright, so there's the formula. Now let's look at how this formula works. The letter A will always be the first number or letter. The letter B will always be the second one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this formula right there in order to solve it, and all we're looking at is this part there to do it. So first part says we're going to take the first number and subtract the second number. Okay, first number minus the second number. And we're just looking at the numbers. We're not looking at the sign here at all. We're just going to say first number minus the second number. Okay? And then it says we're going to take the first number and square it. Well, what is the first number? Well, it's actually a letter, and we're going to square it. So the first term, I guess we should say. Alright, what does it say to do next? It says multiply the first and second. Plus, so we're going to multiply the 2 and the x together, and we get 2x. Then it says add, and it says take the second number and square it. The second number is a 2, we're going to square it, and we're done. Okay, so it's really just following the rules. So let's go ahead and try another one. I'm going to go to the homework assignment and pick one out. So I'm going to leave this formula up here so we can follow it. So in blue, let's go ahead and do this. X cubed minus 64. This is just like number 9, only I'm using an x instead of a y. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite this as x cubed minus 4 cubed, because I know that is 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. So again, I'm going to rewrite it that way. Then I'm just going to take this here. Alright, I'm just taking the number part, I'm not taking the exponent. So that's what I'm going to look at to solve this. Okay, so looking at my formula up here, it says take the first number or letter minus the second one. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take x minus 4. Notice it will always be the exact same as what we started with here. Then I'm going to make a parenthesis, and I'm going to do the first part. First part says I'm going to take the first number or letter and I'm going to square it. So I'm going to take the x and I'm going to square it. Then I'm going to put a plus sign. Then it says take the first times the second. So first times the second, which is 4x, plus sign. Then it says take the second number and square it. So 4 times 4 is 16. And so I've got that right there, and I am done. Okay, so not too bad. You just follow that formula. Alright, so what we did in the previous lesson, or the previous part of this lesson, is we had the difference of two cubes. Now we have what's called the sum of two cubes because there's a plus sign. And let me write the formula here. So if we have a plus b, and that's a cubed and a cubed, we get the formula a plus b. Okay, and the other one we had a minus b. And then we've got a squared minus ab plus b squared. So if you remember, everything here is the exact same. The only thing that's different is our signs are changed. Okay, our sign, this in the other one, this was a plus sign and this was a negative, but they switched around. That's the only difference. Everything else is done the exact same. In fact, solving these is the exact same. Again, we write this as this. Whoops. So we have a cubed and a cubed, and then we just write the y plus 3, and we ignore everything else. And we get first number plus the second, first number or letter squared, minus first number times the second, second number squared, and we're done. Okay, so it's very, very similar to the last one. We just have a couple other pluses and minuses. So what if we had something like 64 plus t cubed? Doesn't really matter. We can leave it in that order, but we're going to write this as 4 cubed plus t cubed. Then we're going to take off the exponents and have 4 plus t. And we are going to, again, follow this rule here. First rule says first number plus the second. Second part says first number squared minus first number times the second number plus second number or letter squared. And we're done. Alright, let's keep doing some of these examples. And, you know, they get a little bit trickier as we go, but I'll leave that formula up there. Let's do one like 27x cubed plus 125y cubed. Now remember, I said we have to write each one of these with a cube sign. Now the x has the cube sign here, and the y does, but the 27 and 125 don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as cubed, and 125 is 5 cubed. 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. Okay, so now that it's written that way, I get rid of my cube signs. I mean, they're really still there, but for solving these, you don't even need them. Alright, so let's look and see what we have. First number plus second number. First number squared. 3x squared would be 3x times 3x, which is 9x squared. Minus first number times the second number would be 15xy. Remember, the 3 times 5 is 15, but you can't do anything with the x and the y, so you leave them. Then we take the second number, 5y, and square it. 5 times 5 is 25. Y times y is y squared. And we are done. So we will continue with example 6 on the next video.